Hey everyone, and John and Vince here with Sock Mortgage, and we're back with another episode of the Market Minute. So this week we were hoping to bring you some really good news. Was coming up with tomorrow, May 10th. Unfortunately, it seems like the bubble might have been burst a little bit on there. A couple different factors came in a little bit worse than what we were thinking. Vince, what were some of the areas that we were a little less than stellar on?
Yeah, so as we talked last week, we were anticipating the job report coming out on Friday, and unfortunately, the wage inflation increased a little bit more than what was expected, which in turn is going to increase the cost of goods and services. So that's one of the main factors here that we talked about, that it's going to affect the CPI data that actually comes out tomorrow that raises inflation.
Yeah, so tomorrow the prediction is, 6 more weeks of winter, right? We're going to see more inflation, a little bit higher than what we were expecting. So, in this market, what we're trying to do and what the government's trying to do is curb inflation. Curbing inflation will ultimately lead to lower rates. It just has been their decision to affect the mortgage world to be able to do that. So, this is kind of commonplace. Every few cycles, we get affected by higher rates to kind of push the inflation down. So, Vince, what do you think is kind of our, intermediate future and forecast look like?
Yeah, so the forecast here, obviously, when inflation continues to rise, they're going to expect, rate increases to happen. But there is a possibility that the Fed does still hold true to actually pausing those rate hikes. So we're going to see what happens there. Only the future will tell. But don't let that hinder you from buying a home. Don't let interest rates hinder you from buying a home at all. I mean, if it makes sense for your situation, if you can afford it, we can refinance you down the line. We can save you some money down the line. This actually may even level out home prices a little bit, but don't let that interest rate actually prohibit you from buying your dream home.
Yeah, for sure. So let's go back to the chart that we talked about last week. So last week we we're hovering around a 3.4, 3.3, kind of a little up and down. You'll see today we're at a 3.5. So what we're hoping for is that the lenders and the investors in the market is already kind of factored into what's going to happen with the job reports that was last week and the data coming out tomorrow. Again, you look at this chart, just remember chart going up, chart goes down, rates go down. The easiest way to explain it. So as Vince said, don't look at this as a bad thing for you. Again, rates will always be in a cyclical world where sometimes it's going to be higher, sometimes it's going to be lower. You just got to work with the right people. They're going to help you and refinance you when that time comes. So, as always, if you have any questions, anything specific about your financial situation, give us a call at 586-371-6104. You can also catch us online at stockmortgage.com.
And make sure you catch